Wyln TV. We're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Cleaning crews worked throughout the evening in the Crestwood area as a precaution after a student was sent home from school yesterday. School officials also said a teacher in the district recently returned from an international trip. Superintendent Robert Mahalik contacted the Pennsylvania Department of Health for guidance on how to handle the situation. The district hired a professional cleaning firm to ensure the health and safety of students and faculty. A recorded phone call was sent out to parents to inform them about the situation. It's not known at this time what illness the student had, and the district urges anyone who isn't feeling good to just stay home. A busy road remained temporarily closed Tuesday afternoon as crews repaired a utility pole following an accident. According to Hazleton Police, a Volkswagen Jetta being operated by a 32-year-old man struck a utility pole at Lafayette Court and 15th Street around 10 a.m. The car then struck a second vehicle parked in the Turkey Hill parking lot, continued on, and hit a van in front of the business. The operator of the Jetta may have suffered a seizure while driving and was transported to an area trauma center for treatment. The driver of the van was also taken to a local hospital. Crews worked into the afternoon to repair the 15th Street utility pole in Hazleton. It may have felt more like spring over the past couple of days, but Mother Nature quickly reminded us that it is indeed still winter. The National Weather Service issued a winter weather advisory for most of northeastern Pennsylvania, including Luzerne, Schuylkill, Columbia, and surrounding counties. The advisory is in effect from 8 this evening until about 10 Thursday morning. We can expect mixed precipitation throughout the evening hours with sleet and ice accumulations. This could impact travel conditions, especially for the Thursday morning commute. Higher elevations will most likely see the greatest accumulations. The wintry mix is expected to turn into rain for most of Thursday. Friday also calls for some rain and snow, so be careful, whether you're traveling to work or out running errands over the next couple of days. The City of Hazleton seeks funding to pave some heavily traveled streets in the area. Administration has plans to pave Cedar, Wyoming, Pine, and Laurel streets. It seeks around $1 million through the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development's Section 108 Loan Guarantee Program. Officials also want to use a portion of the annual Community Development Block Grant allocation to pay the loan over the next 7 to 10 years. A public hearing is scheduled for Wednesday, February 12th at City Hall. Council was originally supposed to meet that day, but rescheduled its meeting to Monday, February 10th at 7 p.m. A 15-year-old found himself in trouble with the law after refusing to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle. West Hazleton Police responded Tuesday afternoon to the 500 block of Allen Street for report of a large fight. As the crowd dispersed, students fled the scene, trespassing into neighboring yards. Many others walked in the middle of the road, obstructing traffic and ignoring officers' commands. Some students impeded the travel of a marked police car with its sirens and lights on. While most cleared the roadway, one 15-year-old ignored their orders and continued to walk in front of the police vehicle. The juvenile was taken into custody and cited for obstructing highways and other public passages, as well as disorderly conduct. Local authorities and federal agents converged on a Wilkes-Barre car dealership Tuesday morning. The raid happened at Yayo Auto and Electric Repair at 513 Hazel Street. Several drug investigators served multiple search warrants around 6:30 Tuesday morning. Authorities were seeking to take apart a blue sedan in the parking lot of the business. The investigation came as a result of concentrated efforts by law enforcement into drug trafficking activity. Large quantities of illegal drugs and firearms were seized from the property. Now, as a result of the raid, 2 men were taken into police headquarters for processing. There have been no reports of lead found in drinking water in Luzerne County schools. That's according to the Pennsylvania Department of Education. By law, schools are required to notify the department when a test reveals unsafe lead levels. The law enacted in 2018 urges schools in the state to test for lead. If the results exceed the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's national standard of 15 parts per billion, school districts are then required to implement a plan and provide alternate sources of drinking water. If a school does not test for lead, officials must then discuss it during a public meeting at least once a year. Thieves are at it once again. Undergarments were stolen from the Victoria's Secret at the Wyoming Valley Mall in Wilkes-Barre Township. Authorities say a man and two women stuffed over $1,600 of lingerie into a shopping bag Monday afternoon and left the store without paying. Several thefts have taken place at the location over the past few years. Over $17,000 in merchandise has been reported stolen from the store between February of 2015 and March of 2018. Authorities are still searching for the suspect in the latest heist. If anyone has any information about the incident, they are being asked to contact police. Coming up on Wyln News, we'll have more on Governor Tom Wolf's proposed budget, reactions from his colleagues, and how state centers are being affected. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Now, as we said earlier, a wintry mix until Saturday and Sunday. A little break before next week's wintry mix once again. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialist, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon
At 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media?
Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page?
Now more than ever,
WYLN is your local news leader.
area representatives weighed in after Governor Tom Wolf released his 2020-2021 budget proposal Tuesday. State Representative Doyle Heffley of the 122nd District released a statement in reaction to the $36 billion spending plan. He stated, quote, "Once again, the governor is proposing to increase spending, fees, and taxes rather than holding the line to enable continued economic growth in Pennsylvania," unquote. Representative Tara Toohill also disagreed with parts of Wolf's spending plan. She stated that she's confident the House Republican caucus will put together a more acceptable budget plan. The House Appropriations Committee will conduct a series of hearings to examine details of the governor's plan. They're set to begin Tuesday, February 18th, as the deadline to pass a final budget looms over July 1st. And sticking with Governor Tom Wolf, he's sticking by his proposed budget plans to close both Whitehaven and Polk centers, despite the majority of lawmakers voting against it. Wolf's budget Tuesday recommends a $2.88 million cut at both state centers as the disabled residents move out, but adds $594,000 to help them adjust to community settings. He would also reserve $5 million to help communities economically rebound from the closings. However, Lawmakers passed a bill delaying any state center closing for at least 5 years unless a plan is in place and a task force approves. The bill reached the governor's desk Monday. He plans to veto the bill, but has 10 days to make his decision. County assistance offices will be closed by the Department of Human Services for a system update next week. County assistance offices, processing centers, and customer service centers will be closed to the public February 14th in order to install a statewide system update and will affect the Compass benefits application system. The offices will also be closed Monday, February 17th for President's Day. During the closure, CAO workers will not be able to access case information, print new EBT cards, or process applications, renewals, or document uploads. The Compass website and My Compass PA mobile app will be offline as well. Benefit recipients and applicants who need to provide important documents are encouraged to talk with their caseworker prior to the closure. For more information, visit dhs.pa.gov. The Wilkes-Barre Veterans Affairs Medical Center will be holding town hall meetings with local veterans in both Allentown and Wilkes-Barre. The VA's town hall meetings is for veterans, family members, and the public to provide operational information and accept both feedback and recommendations for VA programs. The first meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, March 11th at 5 in the Trade and Transit Center 2 at 100 West 3rd Street in Williamsport. The second is scheduled for Wednesday, March 25th at 5 in the 5th floor media room at 1111 East End Boulevard in Wilkes-Barre. Coming up on Wilkes-Barre Township's News Choice, we talk cardiac rehab on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Plus, more girls basketball coming your way tonight. Stay with us.
WYLN TV 35 and the Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society present the 42nd annual telethon. 42 determined to find a cure through all we do. The telethon will be held Saturday, February 22nd from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at Premier Catering and Events at Genetti Ballrooms, 1345 North Church Street in Hazel Township. The telethon is made possible each year by these sponsors.
There are 125 used car dealers in town, but there's only one Chura's. Quality vehicles since 1954. Voted the best used car dealer. Check out their inventory, see something you like, take a test ride. Chura's Auto Sales. Call 570-454-7229.
Have your event with Whitetail, graduation, birthday, bachelor, reunion parties? They have the most tranquil backyard experience with beautiful mountains in the background. If your company or business wants a different alternative to a golf outing, they have outings that can accommodate you. You can have the entire facility to yourself. They will work with you to set up your day of events. Sporting clay competitions, trap and wobble trap games, skeet. After a day of shooting, you'll return to a meal designed for you. Call Mike at 570-535-6123 for available group options.
A sense of self-worth, of purpose after war. It can be found by having the courage to learn new things and experience new adventures. We develop confidence through accomplishment. If you're a combat veteran struggling with the scars of war, consider getting into the outdoors. The outdoors has really helped me cope, and it just might help you too. Get out of the house, experience life and the healing power of nature.
Watch Staff Sergeant Olson heal the wounds of war through outdoor activities. Watch Warrior Summit Outdoors.
Welcome to Community and You here on WYLN, and it is Wednesday, which means it's Wellness Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. And today we are on location at the Wellness Center on the Airport Beltway with Dr. Sheikh, who's an endocrinologist, and going to be talking with us a little bit today about diabetes, type 1, type 2, causes, symptoms, risk factors, but we'll just start off with a description of what type 2 diabetes is all about.
Hi, Julia. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you guys. So type 2 diabetes, most of the time we come across mostly type 2 diabetes patients, and it's the most common diabetes we see across. Type 2 diabetes, mainly the risk factors is obesity, if you have overweight, and that's why we say this disease is mainly caused because of insulin resistance. It has some insulin deficiency, but mainly it is insulin resistance contributing to the disease. The risk factors, as I mentioned, poor eating habits, overweight and obesity are the main risk factors. There is a genetic predisposition too. Like for example, if you have first-degree relatives, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, who have diabetes, you have 50% chance of getting diabetes. If both the parents have diabetes, then there is 80% chance of getting diabetes. Then the symptoms-wise, most of the time, if it is uncontrolled diabetes, you have symptoms of feeling thirsty all the time, you pee a lot, and if the blood sugars run high, and you normally have symptoms of blurry vision sometimes. And you might actually lose weight because you're not able to utilize the glucose, so you might lose weight too. So those are the main symptoms. And the treatment strategies now with the type 2 diabetes, we have a wide range of treatment strategies. We have a lot of oral pills to be used, and sometimes if you can't control on the pills, then we have to go on insulin too. So that's mainly for the type 2.
Now, with type 2, is there a general age range of who is susceptible to developing type 2 diabetes?
So type 2 is generally seen in adult population. Before, we never used to see in the younger, like in the children and in the teenage groups. But now, because of the prevalence of obesity all over, you see that in 18-year-old, 16-year-old as well. But mostly speaking, this is an adult disease.
Now, how can somebody who may already have type 2 diabetes or may think they're at risk of getting type 2 diabetes, what are some of the ways that they can almost avoid it entirely?
So the most important preventive aspect for the type 2 diabetes is diet and healthy lifestyle. So if you're trying to eat healthy and try to do some exercise regularly, that will help to prevent diabetes. But again, there is a genetic component as well. So if there is a family predisposition of having diabetes, you are at higher risk. And also the race also is an important role to play. African Americans and Hispanics have higher incidence of diabetes compared with Caucasians, whites.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know when it comes to preventatives, type 1 is not like type 2 in that type of way where, type 2 maybe you may give yourself type 2 diabetes, for lack of better words, versus type 1 where it's almost like you're just kind of bestowed upon it.
Right. So you rightly said type 1 is, before it used to be said as juvenile diabetes, and it's mostly common in children because they're basically insulin deficient, so they don't have any insulin to utilize the glucose. That's why these patients are mostly children, in the age group of children groups. But nowadays, we have a lot of population, at least in my practice, we have patients who are adults also who have type 1 diabetes. In those patients, you can have diabetes initially labeled as type 2, and over the period of time, they become type 1. But specifically speaking about type 1 in the younger age group, that's true. You mentioned there is nothing really like a poor healthy lifestyle contributing to it. It's mostly autoimmune based, which means that the antibodies are basically working against yourself. They're basically harming the cells which are making insulin, so you don't have an insulin. So there is definitely again genetic predisposition. You will get the history from the patient. Most likely the families or relatives have type 1 or other autoimmune conditions like lupus or adrenal insufficiency, some other conditions. Yeah.
And when it also comes to type 1 diabetes, there are signs and symptoms like type 2, but at the same time, there are also more higher risk of almost developing a coma if going untreated, correct?
Right. So most of the times patients are diagnosed with type 1 when they actually are admitted in the hospital with a condition called diabetic ketoacidosis, where their blood sugars are very high and they're pretty sick. And the treatment for them is basically insulin because they're insulin deficient. The treatment is insulin. But nowadays, you don't need to inject multiple times, in the sense we now have a new technology where we have insulin pumps, where it is basically the insulin is delivered by a subcutaneous catheter. And again, type 1 diabetes patients are also prone to have low blood sugars and high blood sugars very quickly. Their glycemic control is can be very volatile. Nowadays, the technology-wise, we have continuous glucose monitors where you can actually track your blood sugar every few seconds, and it's easy for the patients to predict when they are going low and high. So I think compared with a few years back and now, the technology has advanced very much where you can use insulin pumps and continuous glucose sensors.
And when it comes to treatment here at the Wellness Center, they can almost schedule an appointment with you. So how does that work?
So the one thing I want to mention, we have a what we say Helbig Diabetes Education Center where we have very well-trained certified diabetes educators who see both type 2 and type 1 patients. And type 1 patients, they do pump training as well. And they also do insulin teaching, they educate about the diet and healthy lifestyle. So feel free to make an appointment with myself or with the Diabetes Education Center, the Helbig here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for squeezing us in so much today for this Wellness Wednesday.
Thanks. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thanks.
No problem. And thank you everybody for watching on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Remember, if you believe you may be suffering from diabetes or are worried you may be at high risk, don't be afraid to schedule an appointment here at the Wellness Center with Dr. Sheikh or anyone else who is more than qualified to help you out. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
CARES is a local and family-owned agency dedicated to providing exceptional services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Pennsylvania. CARES specializes in day and residential services, respite, home and community, behavior supports, and chaperone vacations. At CARES, the participants are the VIPs. CARES, empowering individuals to maximize their opportunities and potential in their community.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
Stop in at Two Italian Guys Pizzeria for the best pizza in town, serving a large variety of pizza, stromboli, and so much more. Open till 3 a.m. Take out or eat in, delivery available. Call 570-459-2783.
Whitetail Preserve has an immediate opening for a chef. Please call 570-455-4251, extension 1378 for details.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about visiting a restaurant that has a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we'll be featuring on our show. Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. Jeff Bonomo and his co-host, Alan Giannetti, welcome you into the world of craft beer, great wine, and good food. Wine, Hops, and Road Stops.
$30.7 million was placed in wagers on the NFL's big night. According to the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board, figures showed $30.7 million wagered in the Commonwealth this past weekend through retail and online sportsbooks, as well as payouts of just over $34 million. This was the second year legal sports wagering was available in PA for the big game, but the first time online wagering options were available. Last year, the sports wagering market consisted of just 6 retail outlets, but this year, patrons could place their wagers through a dozen retail locations and 8 wagering sites online. Now, in just a few short weeks, we've got the 42nd Annual American Cancer Society Telethon coming up at Premier Catering and Giannetti's Ballrooms from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, February 22nd. 42, determined to find a cure through all we do is the theme this year, featuring live music and entertainment, WYLN personalities like myself, bake sales, tricky trays, a free health fair, and more. Phone banks will be open all day so you can make a pledge by calling in. The public's encouraged to stop by and take part in this very important event, but if you can't be there in person, WYLN TV will be broadcasting live right here, so be sure to tune in on TV and our live stream online. Be on the lookout for updates on our WYLN News Facebook page as well, so mark your calendars to come out and fight as we do what we can to support this battle against cancer. Our sports crew is bringing all the girls' high school basketball action to your screens tonight, live. Be sure to check out tonight's matchup as the Wilkes-Barre area Lady Wolfpack takes on the Hazleton area Lady Cougars. So don't forget to tune in at 7:30 tonight for some girls' high school basketball action right here and only here on WYLN TV. And that's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. If you'd like to see an event promoted on our newscast, visit WYLNTV.com to submit a request form. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
Have your event with Whitetail, graduation, birthday, bachelor, reunion parties? They have the most tranquil backyard experience with beautiful mountains background. If your company or business wants a different alternative to a golf outing, they have outings that can accommodate you. You can have the entire facility to yourself. They will work with you to set up your day of events. Sporting clay competitions, trap and wobble trap games, skeet. After a day of shooting, you'll return to a meal designed for you. Call Mike at 570-535-6123 for available group options.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. We're going to tell you how you can stay well with good chiropractic care. Join us.
watching.